Welcoming Steven Peterson here to the program. Legacy Fighting Championships 56, June 24. Getting ready to do battle against Manny Vasquez. Manny's 9-1. He's only got that one loss. He's like an up-and-coming guy. Both you two are getting on the radar of the bigger shows. So at some point, one of you get called up pretty quickly. Could be right after this fight, depending on who wins and how it goes. I asked Manny what was different during his training camp, for this training camp, different than his other fights. And his first response was, I finally got a training camp. Most of my fights, I take on like 2 or 3 week notice, and I just fight. This one, I actually knew was coming, and I had a full training camp. So I'm actually in the best shape, and my weight's the best it's been in because I've actually worked out now for 8 weeks. Do you think that makes him more dangerous or less dangerous?
It depends on how you look at it. With a training camp, he's going to have more wear and tear on his body. So, the injuries that come with that. I'm used to having training camp, and normally when I take fights on short notice, those are my decision losses. Maybe I wasn't in the best shape or whatnot. But this fight, I feel great. I feel like if he's got a full training camp, I had a full training camp. It's going to be a good scrap. It's a 5-round war, so it'll be nice.
You're on a 5-fight win streak right now, and you haven't lost since 2013. So it's been a long time since your last loss, and it was actually at Legacy 19 was the last time that you lost. You figured out a way how to win now. In a couple of those fights in there, you took on less than full-time camp. So before you would always come in and have a decision loss because you weren't in real good shape. But it seems like now you still come in great shape. Have you changed? Obviously, it's almost 3 years ago, but have you changed things in your camp where now you're kind of training all the time now versus before where you weren't training in between fights, or were you always in the gym and just got better and smarter about how you train?
Yeah, I've changed everything really. I always train full time. Ever since I started, it's just been a passion of mine just to train MMA, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, just all the above. But the biggest difference is I lost those 2 fights in a row. So I changed camps. I went and trained at Octagon MMA with the guys that actually beat me. I realized I had some holes in my game, and I needed to fix those holes. And since, filling in those holes and now actually having real training partners that are full-time MMA fighters like myself, it's made the world of difference. When I get in the cage, it's like just another day because I'm used to training full MMA as opposed to training jiu-jitsu and then training Muay Thai separate. Now I'm training everything together, and it's translated really well into my fights. I feel comfortable in the cage and much more dominant rather than just pulling something out like pulling off a submission or something that, that I wouldn't call it luck because, I trained to do that. But now it's much more dominant and a much more technical approach to how I'm going to win each fight.
How hard was it for you to show up at Octagon and be like, hey, look, you guys just beat my ass, but I want to learn from you? Like, how hard is that? Like, it's a very putting your ego in check. It's a very humbling experience to walk into someplace and going with guys that just beat you in competition.
Yeah, exactly. Humble is the word for it. I had to humble myself, and the way I saw it is these guys obviously had the answer to my puzzle, and it was mostly Coach Safe. He had picked me apart and figured out the holes in my game. So I figured who better to go to than the guy that exposed those holes, the coach that was able to pick me apart to help fill those gaps. And since then, I've worked on the weak parts of my game, such as wrestling, such as boxing, just my full MMA game. It's all come together rather than just having skills over here and then skills over here. Now it's just a complete game. And but humble is definitely, and I stay humble because I'm not the best guy in the gym. Any given day, I might be be the best guy on any given day. But there's guys with skill sets that can beat me, and that keeps me humble.
And that's tough to be. Some men and women, some fighters, they excel in that kind of situation where they get pushed every day, and other ones have to have where they're the best one in the room, and it's all about them. When you're in training camp, do they switch the training camp, the training around specifically for you? Or is it there's so many people in the room now that everyone's getting ready for a fight in one level or another, and you still kind of have to find your own piece?
No, definitely everything's geared towards me. Coach is really smart about putting the right guys in the cage with me in the right rounds, first round, second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round. I have a different training partner going with me, and he's really technical about who he picks, and just to bring out certain aspects of my game at certain times. And I've always ran my own camp as far as like my training regimen and all that, but there's specific days where I have to be at Octagon and I have to be training with Coach, and he's really on top of me.
I like it. So what's different about this training camp then? Because you're always looking for that 1% more. Every fight you want to be 1% or 2% better than you were the last fight. So what did you tweak during this training camp from your last fight?
Really, the style is totally different of the opponent. My last fight, it was a really explosive striker, and the game plan was kind of to get him to the ground. And this time it's totally opposite. I'm fighting a wrestler. My striking is always, I'm always working on that. I'm always working on every aspect of my game. But as far as game planning goes, now I'm fighting a guy who's likely going to try and take me down and choke me. So, I'd like to be able to showcase my striking skills, and we've been focusing on, that. And if he does take me down, that's my world. So he'll be in a world of hurt either way.
Are you only going to be satisfied if you finish this fight and make a solid statement that tonight I am the guy that's better, and everyone should start looking at me as far as the big shows go?
100%. A finish is the only way to go. My last fight, I was disappointed I didn't get the finish. I left it all in there, but you look back and there's parts where maybe you could have done this, maybe you could have done that. Nobody wants to see a 5-round fight go to their scorecards. It's a 5-round fight because you want to see somebody get finished. And so I always train to finish. I'm not worried about fighting for 25 minutes. I'm worried about fighting to finish. And as soon as the finish is there, I'll take it.
Perfect. That's Steven Peterson getting ready to fight Manny Vasquez, come up here on Legacy Fighting Championships June 24th. Steve, thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your training camp. We'll see you again soon.
All right, Frank. Thanks for having me.